What is IMLS? In recent discussions about cultural funding, one topic that has gained attention is the Institute of Museum and Library Services. Many people are curious about its role and significance. This federal agency plays a vital part in supporting museums and libraries across the United States. If you have been wondering how this agency impacts your local cultural institutions, you are not alone. The Institute of Museum and Library Services is a federal agency that provides funding and support to museums and libraries. Its mission is to help these institutions serve their communities better. The agency works to improve access to information, cultural resources, and educational programs. Through various grants and initiatives, it helps sustain and enhance the infrastructure of these institutions nationwide. Recently, there has been a growing debate about the role of federal funding for cultural institutions. Some individuals argue that the Institute of Museum and Library Services represents an overreach of government power. Libertarians, in particular, advocate for limited government involvement in cultural and educational sectors. They believe that solutions should come from the private sector or local communities rather than federal funding. In 2025, political moves to reduce or freeze funding for the Institute of Museum and Library Services were made. This was part of a broader concern regarding government spending. The previous administration issued an executive order that cut back significantly on the agency's funding. Supporters of this move argued that taxpayers deserve to know how their money is spent. They questioned the necessity of federal grants for cultural institutions. The Institute of Museum and Library Services operates as an independent agency. However, its activities and funding are still subject to political and legal challenges. Critics often express concerns that federal funding can lead to bureaucratic control over what is presented in museums and libraries. This is a point of contention for many who value intellectual freedom and autonomy. In summary, the Institute of Museum and Library Services is dedicated to supporting museums and libraries through grants and programs. Its existence raises questions about the appropriate level of government involvement in cultural and educational affairs. As discussions continue, many are watching closely to see how this agency's role may evolve in the future.